Welcome back to Z Coins Today. We are diving deep into the story, mystery, and rising fascination behind the United States of America 1966 mint mark Roosevelt one-dime coin, and why collectors all over the world consider it a sleeper treasure. Setting the historical stage to understand this coin, you have to step back into a turbulent era of American history. The mid-1960s were anything but calm. The United States was facing social change, political tension, and economic pressure. Coin collecting itself was going through a dramatic shift. Silver was disappearing from everyday circulation, hoarded by the public as prices climbed and uncertainty grew. The Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for 2 decades by this point, introduced to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a leader remembered for guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. By 1966, the dime was no longer made for casual pocket change in the way it once had been. Something subtle but powerful had changed. The mystery of the missing mint mark. One of the first things collectors notice about the 1966 Roosevelt dime is what is not there. No mint mark. For many people, that absence feels ordinary. But for experienced numismatists, it raises eyebrows immediately. During this period, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from coins. The goal was to discourage hoarding and speculation. Officials believed that collectors and investors were pulling coins out of circulation based on where they were made. By erasing mint marks, the mint hoped to keep coins flowing freely through the economy. Ironically, this decision did the exact opposite in the long run. What was meant to make coins less collectible ended up creating one of the most intriguing chapters in modern American coinage. Special mint sets and a different kind of coin. Here is where the story gets truly interesting. The 1966 Roosevelt dime was not struck in the traditional proof format, nor was it entirely the same as regular circulation strikes. Instead, it appeared in what are now known as special mint sets. These sets were produced with extra care. The coins had sharper details, smoother surfaces, and a distinct look that sits somewhere between a standard business strike and a proof coin. They were never meant to circulate in pockets or cash registers. They were created for collectors quietly and without much fanfare at the time. Most people who owned these sets had no idea that decades later, one small dime from this group would ignite intense competition among elite collectors. Design details that matter at first glance. The design seems familiar. On the obverse, President Roosevelt faces left, his expression calm and resolute. The word liberty arcs along the edge, balanced by the motto that has appeared on American coins for generations. The date sits modestly beneath the portrait, offering no hint of the drama attached to it. Turn the coin over, and the torch stands tall at the center, symbolizing liberty. An olive branch rests on one side, representing peace, while oak leaves on the other stand for strength and endurance. These symbols are not accidental. They reflect the ideals the nation was clinging to during a time of rapid change. But in high-quality examples, these details come alive. The torch lines appear razor-sharp. The leaves show depth and texture. The surfaces reflect light in a way that feels almost sculptural. This is where value begins to separate ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. Condition is everything in coin collecting. Condition is king. 2 coins struck in the same year, from the same dies, can be worlds apart in value depending on preservation. The 1966 Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of this reality. Most examples show contact marks, dull surfaces, or light wear from storage. Truly pristine pieces are exceptionally rare. When a coin survives with flawless surfaces, strong strikes, and eye-catching finish, it enters an entirely different category. Professional grading services evaluate these coins under magnification, scrutinizing every microscopic detail. Only a handful of 1966 Roosevelt dimes have reached the highest levels of certification. Those few pieces are the ones that ignite bidding wars and make headlines. Why collectors are obsessed? So why has this dime captured so much attention? Part of it is rarity, but not in the traditional sense. Millions were made, yet almost none survived in top condition. Part of it is history, tied to a brief and unusual experiment by the United States Mint. And part of it is psychology. Collectors love hidden gems. They love the idea that something small, overlooked, and underestimated can turn out to be extraordinary. The 1966 Roosevelt dime represents that dream perfectly. It challenges assumptions. it rewards knowledge. It proves that modern coins can be just as exciting as ancient gold. There is also prestige involved. Owning one of the finest known examples places a collector in an elite circle. It is not just about money. It is about recognition, legacy, and the thrill of holding something few others ever will. Auction moments that changed everything. When one of these top-grade dimes appears at auction, the room changes. Phones come out. Online bidders log in from around the world. Experts lean forward. What starts as a quiet listing quickly becomes a battleground of determination and desire. Each bid is not just a number. It is a statement, a declaration that this coin matters, that it deserves a place among the great modern rarities of American numismatics. These moments are what transform a coin from an object into a legend. Final reflection: the 1966 mint mark Roosevelt Dime is proof that history does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to notice it. Video is about one such coin, the United States of America 1994 Roosevelt Dime with the P mint mark. This is not just another dime. This coin represents history, craftsmanship, minting precision, and a level of intrigue that has turned it into a legend among serious collectors. Stay with me until the end, because what appears to be common can sometimes carry extraordinary worth. The Roosevelt Dime, a tribute INMETL. The Roosevelt Dime was introduced as a tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a leader remembered for guiding the nation through some of its most challenging times. His legacy lives on not only in history books, but also in everyday American currency. The dime bearing his portrait symbolizes resilience, reform, and progress. Every Roosevelt dime tells a story, but the 1994 issue from the Philadelphia Mint carries a character that sets it apart. It stands at the crossroads of modern minting and classic numismatic appeal. The significance of the Philadelphia and the P mint mark represents the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historically important mints in the United States. Known as the birthplace of American coinage, Philadelphia has long been associated with precision, quality, and innovation. Coins produced here often attract special attention, especially when they exhibit unusual characteristics, exceptional strike quality, or rare production anomalies. The 1994 P Roosevelt Dime is one such example that has sparked curiosity and admiration within the coin collecting community. Design details that capture ATTNTION on the obverse. We see the dignified profile of President Roosevelt. His expression is calm yet determined, reflecting strength and leadership. The inscriptions are crisp, balanced, and harmonious, giving the coin a refined appearance. The reverse design, featuring the torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizes liberty, peace, and strength. On well-preserved examples, the torch's vertical lines appear sharp and uninterrupted, a key detail collectors often examine closely. Why condition matters so much in numismatics? Condition is everything. Two coins from the same year and mint can have vastly different appeal based solely on preservation. The 1994 P Roosevelt Dime becomes especially captivating when found in near-perfect or flawless condition. Coins that have never circulated, never been scratched, and never exposed to harsh environments often retain their original mint luster. This shimmering surface, combined with sharp details, can dramatically elevate desirability. The role of rarity and MYSTRY makes this dime truly fascinating is not mass production, but select examples that stand out from the rest. Subtle differences in strike quality, surface texture, and overall finish have fueled speculation and excitement. Collectors are drawn to coins that feel different, pieces that hint at something special beneath the surface. Whether it is an extraordinary strike or an unusually well-preserved specimen, rarity is often born from the unexpected. Modern coins with collector power. Many people assume that only very old coins carry significant value. However, modern coins can become incredibly desirable when the right factors align. The 1994 P Roosevelt Dime proves that age alone does not define importance. Modern minting techniques combined with exceptional quality can produce coins that rival much older issues in collector interest. This dime sits at that unique intersection where modern history meets timeless appeal. The psychology of SOLLICITING coin collecting is not just about metal and dates. It is about passion, discovery, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary. The idea that a small, everyday coin could hold remarkable worth captures the imagination. For collectors, owning such a piece is about more than money. It is about pride, achievement, and being part of a story that continues to unfold. Why this dime stands OU to the 1994 Roosevelt Dime stands out because it challenges expectations. It invites us to look closer, to question assumptions, and to appreciate detail. It reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry immense significance when history, craftsmanship, and rarity converge. We are diving into one very specific coin, a coin that on the surface looks ordinary, yet has sparked curiosity, debate, and excitement among numismatists and everyday treasure hunters alike. This is the story of the United States of America 2007 D Mint Mark Roosevelt One Dime, and the question everyone wants answered: what is its true value and worth as money? To understand why this dime matters, we have to step back and look at the Roosevelt dime itself. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the passing of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was not only a four-term president who guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, but also a strong supporter of the March of Dimes campaign, which fought polio, the disease that personally affected him. Placing his portrait on the dime was both a tribute and a symbol of resilience, and ever since then, the Roosevelt dime has been a constant presence in American pockets, purses, and coin jars. Fast forward to the year 2007. The United States Mint was operating at full modern capacity, producing billions of coins for everyday circulation. In this year, dimes were struck at multiple mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver Mint marks its coins with a small letter D, usually found on the obverse side near the date. This tiny letter is easy to overlook, yet it is one of the most important details when determining where a coin was made and, in some cases, how rare or desirable it might be. The 2007 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime was primarily intended for circulation. It was made of a copper core bonded to outer layers of copper and nickel, giving it that familiar silver appearance without containing any actual silver. Millions upon millions of these dimes were produced, meaning that for the average example, there is nothing rare at all. Most of them are still worth exactly what they say on the face: 10 cents. But coin collecting is not about the average. It is about the exceptions, the anomalies, the stories hidden within metal. Collectors know that a coin's value is not determined by age alone. Condition plays a massive role. A dime that has spent years bouncing around in pockets, cash registers, and vending machines will show wear, scratches, dull surfaces, and softened details. On the other hand, a coin that was preserved, carefully stored, or never circulated can look almost as fresh as the day it left the mint. These pristine examples are graded on a detailed scale, and the highest grades can dramatically increase a coin's desirability. Then there are mint errors. This is where the 2007 D Roosevelt dime becomes especially interesting. Errors occur during the striking process when something goes wrong at the mint. These mistakes can include off-center strikes, doubled dies, missing elements, or planchet errors where the metal blank itself is flawed. Most errors are caught and destroyed before the coins ever leave the mint, but a few slip through, entering circulation or collector channels unnoticed at first. When an error is dramatic, obvious, and confirmed by professional grading services, it can transform an otherwise common coin into something extraordinary. Collectors are drawn to these pieces because they are accidental works of art, physical proof that even highly controlled industrial processes are not perfect. Each genuine error coin is unique, and that uniqueness fuels demand. The 2007 D Roosevelt dime has been at the center of discussions precisely because of such exceptional cases. While the vast majority of these dimes are common, a tiny number have surfaced with remarkable characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These special examples are not coins you casually find in change at the grocery store. They are carefully examined, authenticated, and often locked away in collections, emerging only when sold at auctions or showcased online. Another factor that influences value is market psychology. Coin collecting is driven by stories as much as statistics. When collectors hear about a modern coin achieving an unexpectedly high valuation, interest spikes. People begin checking their spare change, searching rolls of dimes from banks, and paying closer attention to dates and mint marks they previously ignored. This surge of attention can temporarily push demand higher, especially for top-graded or error examples. It is also important to understand that not every 2007 Roosevelt dime is valuable. This cannot be stressed enough. Only coins with extraordinary qualities, such as extreme mint errors or exceptional condition verified by trusted grading services, reach the upper levels of the market. Without these traits, the coin remains a standard modern dime. Professional grading services play a crucial role here. They authenticate the coin, assign it a grade, and encapsulate it in a protective holder. This process provides confidence to buyers and sellers alike. A coin that is both rare in nature and officially graded becomes far more attractive at auction, where competitive bidding can drive prices to surprising heights. The Denver Mint itself adds another layer of intrigue. It has a long history of producing high-quality coins, yet like all mints, it has experienced moments where machinery misalignments or die fatigue created unusual results. When a collector identifies a 2007 dime with such characteristics, it becomes a tangible link between modern minting operations and the age-old human fascination with rarity. For YouTube audiences, this coin represents something powerful: the idea that hidden value might already be in your possession. It taps into the dream of discovery, the thrill of finding something extraordinary in the ordinary. A dime is the smallest commonly used American coin, often overlooked, sometimes even discarded. The notion that a dime could be worth a staggering amount challenges our assumptions and invites us to look closer at the everyday objects we take for granted. As we bring this story to a close, remember that coin collecting is a journey of knowledge, patience, and curiosity. The 2007 Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is not automatically a fortune, but under the right circumstances, with the right features, it has achieved legendary status among collectors. Its story reminds us that value is not always obvious at first glance, and sometimes history, rarity, and chance collide in the smallest pieces of metal. Today's story is about the United States of America 2019 Mint Mark Roosevelt one-dime coin, a modern issue with a fascinating background and a value story that surprises almost everyone who hears it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may look at your pocket change very differently. To truly understand the 2019 Roosevelt dime, we need to step back and appreciate the legacy behind it. The Roosevelt dime itself was first introduced in the mid-20th century, created to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a leader whose influence shaped modern America. His legacy includes leadership through economic hardship, global conflict, and social transformation. The dime became a symbol of resilience, progress, and everyday patriotism. Fast forward decades later, and the Roosevelt dime remains in circulation, quietly evolving with each passing year. The year 2019 was not just another calendar year for American coinage. It was a time when modern minting technology met long-standing tradition. Coins struck during this year benefited from advanced quality control, sharper dies, and improved consistency. Yet, even with all that technology, some coins stood out from the rest. The 2019 Roosevelt dime minted in Denver carries subtle characteristics that have sparked curiosity among collectors who pay close attention to details most people overlook. That small letter D on the coin is more important than it looks. The mint mark tells us where the coin was struck, and in this case, it points to the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has a long and respected history of producing coins for everyday circulation. Millions of dimes roll out of its presses each year, but not all are created equal. Light variations in strike quality, surface texture, and preservation can make a massive difference when it comes to collector interest and long-term worth. On the front of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of President Roosevelt. His calm yet determined expression reflects leadership and resolve. The details of his hair, face, and collar may appear subtle, but to a trained eye, they speak volumes. On high-quality examples of the 2019 dime, these details appear crisp and well-defined. The reverse side, featuring the torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizes liberty, peace, and strength. Together, the design elements transform a simple 10-cent piece into a miniature monument of American ideals. You might wonder why a modern dime would attract any serious attention at all. After all, collectors are often associated with ancient coins or rare pieces from a century ago. The truth is, modern coins can be just as exciting, especially when condition, rarity within a grade, and demand come together. The 2019 Roosevelt Dime has become a conversation piece among collectors who specialize in high-grade modern coinage. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A dime that has been heavily circulated tells a different story than one that has never seen the inside of a cash register. Coins preserved in near-perfect or flawless condition are far scarcer than most people realize. Even though millions were minted, very few survive without microscopic scratches, contact marks, or wear. When a 2019 Roosevelt dime appears with exceptional surfaces and sharp detail, it instantly stands apart from the rest. What makes this coin especially interesting is the idea of rarity within abundance. While the overall mintage numbers may seem high, the number of coins that achieve top-tier condition is incredibly small. Collectors chase these elite examples because they represent the absolute best of what the mint produced that year. It's like finding a perfect diamond in a pile of ordinary stones. The coin itself doesn't change, but its quality elevates it into a different category altogether. Competition among collectors is a powerful force. When collectors aim to build the finest possible sets, they look for the highest quality examples available. The 2019 Roosevelt Dime has earned its place as a key modern issue for those chasing perfection. Auctions, private sales, and collector showcases have all contributed to its rising reputation. Each time a top-quality example changes hands, it reinforces the idea that even modern pocket change can carry remarkable worth. Beyond money, there is something deeply satisfying about discovering value where you least expect it. The idea that a dime, something often overlooked, could hold such significance adds emotional weight to the hobby. For many collectors, it's not just about profit. It's about the thrill of discovery, the pride of ownership, and the connection to American history. The 2019 Roosevelt Dime represents that perfect blend of modern craftsmanship and timeless appeal. This coin teaches us an important lesson. Pay attention. Look closely. Sometimes, extraordinary value hides in plain sight. While not every dime will become a collector's dream, understanding what makes certain coins special can open your eyes to a whole new world. It encourages curiosity, patience, and appreciation for the small details that often go unnoticed in daily life. As we wrap up this journey, think about how many coins pass through your hands without a second glance. The United States of America 2019 Mint Mark Roosevelt Dime reminds us that history, artistry, and value can exist in the smallest forms. It stands as a symbol of how modern coins can still surprise us, challenge our assumptions, and inspire interest far beyond their face value.